Hey, everybody. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So welcome to Sketchbook Summer, everybody. Today I brought in Miles here just to kind of sketch Miles. It's going to be kind of like a free sketch day. But I like having these little toys and things because you can turn them, right? So if you want a different view, you know, we want more of a side view or front view or something like that, and you want to be able to draw that, then you can kind of see it in 3D space. Let's back up a little bit just so you can see the full, whoops, the full fingers. Hang on.
Just lost your video.
Yeah, I hit a button.
Okay.
Hang on, I have to take the phone out. Oh, lock me out.
It's back.
All right, let's reclamp the phone. There we go. So if you want to draw Miles along with me, we can go ahead and draw Miles together. I'm not worrying really about the shadow at all. You can see I have a light here just so you can see it. I'm not too concerned with the shadows or anything like that. I'm just trying to get the general pose down because this is a really great, what we call dynamic pose, where all the limbs are moving and it's really active sort of pose like that. I know it's probably not the easiest to see, but we're gonna try this out today. And if you want to try to draw your own thing, you can also go ahead and try to draw your own thing.
Yeah, I like to have little collectibles at my desk. Like one of my favorites is this mug man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have some Cuphead villains. Oh my man, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is a limited edition vinyl figure. Personally, my favorite villain of the game is Sally Stageplay. But I also have this cool Cuphead one.
Yeah, I have a couple Cupheads. That's awesome.
Excuse me, Naylene, did you also want me to spotlight your drawing too?
Yeah.
At the same time? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll add that.
See. So I'm gonna start just with the head, and I'm gonna try to fit the whole pose in, but we'll see what happens. I'm just sketching out the whole thing, and I'm starting kind of small. And I'm just trying to get the energy of the pose and where the body's doing. And I can already tell that I'm not going to fit the whole arm in, but that's okay. We can do several. Yeah.
I just wanted to say real quick. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I just want to say real quick, if anyone needs to see the figure full screen, they can always pin that screen because I know it's a little bit smaller right now because of the two screens.
So right now I'm doing, it's just more of a stick figure type drawing, just so I can kind of get where everything is. And I can already tell I'm going to be out of room for this arm, but that's okay. I'm going to see if I can get closer to what the pose actually is, because we can, for his leg back here, it's actually up higher. And then this leg the knees sort of coming right at me. So I'm just going to draw it as a box. And there's a foot down here. So that's just kind of the basics of the pose. Just so I can get something down. And then from here, another good thing about having the character right in front of you in 3D is that you can actually measure how big things are in comparison to each other, so you can get the proportion of things right, or the relationships of things right. So normally what I do, I would measure the head and see how many heads tall the character is. And because this one's so crouched down, you know, from the head to the floor, it's like not even 2 heads. So here I got head size. And then I'm just drawing the same thing. There's 1 head and 2 heads. So I know I'm gonna have to shift everything up to get this full pose in here. He has this nice twist. So I know this leg is probably more up here. When I'm drawing really complicated stuff, like these complicated body poses, they're very, very messy, because I'm just trying to figure out what's like going on with this character's pose, which is why it's great material for your sketchbook, because it doesn't have to look good. And then this knee is actually on the floor, so it's lower. More like that. So the nice thing about Spider-Man's costume is that this top here kind of divides up the, if you like follow the lines, it helps you make the arm, like this top arm muscle, look more 3D. Just this diamond shape here. It's not really a diamond, but the points of it. And then I'm just going to follow this down. I'm just drawing kind of what I see the line doing. And this point here is actually the middle of the character's body, but because he's turned, it's more on the edge. I'm not worrying about the muscles right away. Try to get the general pose first, like where all the limbs are going. Get the general size correct. And then start dividing it up into smaller and smaller bits. Just gonna kind of get the eye in here real quick. So this shoulder is completely blocked by his head. So I know that the elbow, if we look at the distance between his face and its elbow, it's not that much. And then over here, there's a lot more space just because that's the arm that is closer to us. Just trying to get the general shape. I know I'm not going to have room for the whole hand. I may have to do that on another page. That might be cool. I'm just measuring here real quick. Elbow to the shoulder, shoulder to the head. It's like the middle of the head. And I'm running out of page over here as well. That's okay though. All right, so I think that's a cool practice sketch. I'm gonna try another one on another page where I can turn my sketchbook like this, just so I can get the whole arm span this time. Hopefully it'll be a little bit faster because I've already drawn the character once. I'm still gonna start kind of small. So we have one person with Cuphead characters. Does anybody else have any like figurines or anything like on their desk that they practice drawing with?
It looks like Oliver also has Bugs Bunny.
Oh, nice.
This one came from the limited edition a DVD kit.
Uh-huh.
And it's just really cool to have at my desk. It's like
What was the DVD?
It's actually 3 Blu-ray DVDs.
Were they just of Looney Tunes shorts, or were they of
It was Bugs
movie?
Bunny specifically, 80th anniversary.
Okay. I did not realize how crouched this guy was until I actually measured him. Measuring is so important. Does anybody have those like Funko Pop things? Like those vinyl ones? Those are good too for drawing because they're very simple.
Yeah, but they break really easy.
Yeah, don't use them as like toys where you like play with them, but
yeah, I just keep them at my desk.
yeah.
And Nathaniel and Tater also have them.
Yeah, yeah.
Have some of them.
They're good collector's items now.
It's like these guys are like for 15 and up.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just keep them at my desk.
Yeah.
But the boxes are very intricate. The designing on the box.
Design of the boxes.
And then you like slip them off and you get like all the villains. And it just is really cool.
Yeah, I like the Cuphead villains. They're cool designs. Trying to get the hand in here. So the hand, I'm just doing like a quick gesture of the hand pose. The Spider-Man like hand thingy is actually not that hard to draw as far as like hand poses go. So whenever I used to do caricatures and someone wanted to be a Spider-Man caricature, it was always nice because I had like the hand shape down, so I could get that really fairly easily. It's a little bit longer. Higher. So I'm just dividing up the character into like smaller and smaller sections and just kind of glancing at how they relate to the other ones I've already drawn. And so I kind of keep everything changeable. Oh, I should probably just go ahead and draw this hand. There's some basic shapes. This torso is hard because the middle of his torso is like right over here, and you can barely see any more on this side. And then as he's bent down, it's actually sort of twisting at his waist. So there's kind of a lot going on. And I don't want him to get too big.
May I show?
Oh, of course. Nice. Like all the shading. So are you drawing what you're looking at? Nice. That's awesome. I like all the shading. Have you drawn that character before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a long time when I was really bad drawing.
Yeah, it's nice drawing stuff, you know, as you're learning to draw stuff that you drew before and see how your style has changed, how your skills have changed. think this the legs actually over here. I'm gonna draw this foot tucked back here. I guess that should be down more. Yeah, let's get these lines of the costume.
Right now I'm drawing Bosco,
Nice.
the original Looney Tunes character.
Yeah.
So
a
fun
lot
fact,
of people don't know about Bosco.
fun fact, after Bosco stopped being produced because Hugh Harman and Rudolph Ising left the studio, Looney Tunes was actually like dropped its popularity majorly until
Yeah.
Porky Pig in 1935. It's like they tried making characters similar to Bosco, but it's like none of them was a success.
Yeah, that happens a lot, like not just for cartoons, but for a lot of things. If somebody has success with a certain thing, then a bunch of other, people or other companies will try to replicate it.
Yeah, like Mickey Mouse is really a huge ripoff of Oswald.
Well, the story with Mickey's different. So Walt Disney made the Oswald shorts, and then he lost the rights to it famously, and then they kind of made Mickey came out of the fact that he couldn't make Oswald's anymore because the company that actually owned the rights to them
Universal.
cut him out. Yeah.
But Iwerks was really the guy who created Oswald.
Who designed him? Yeah.
Yeah. But Fleischer Studios was like the first popular, like really popular cartoons. Like when they did Out of the Inkwell, that was like just a hit. Like it's like they're over 100 years old now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's like Olive Oil's literally 102.
Uh-huh. Yeah, a lot of
It's
people
like-
don't realize, because they're so timeless, they don't realize how old some of those characters actually are.
Yeah, everybody thinks 1933, but it was really 1919
Mm-hmm.
with Symbol Theater. But Popeye didn't come in until 10 years after the fact. 10 years after it started. Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how things happen like that. Ugh. I'm gonna do this hand.
I'm trying to draw an exact Bosco so he won't really look so good. Because, they weren't as advanced as other studios at the time, like Fleischer and and you know, in Disney studios.
Yeah, well, things from different ages, they weren't drawn to be like, you know, accurate or anything like that.
like-
They were drawn to be very fast because animation takes so long.
Like
So if you
15,000 frames.
yeah, if you draw really simple shape designs for your characters, and you're just focusing on, you know, gags and stuff like that, then it's, you know, quicker to draw. So you can actually produce cartoons in a reliable time
But
frame.
what I really like about the Tom and Jerry stuff is that it's like the reason they only produced like 6 a year was because they wanted the animation to be top notch.
Mhm.
Like really, like you could. It's like it looked just like it was happening in real life. Like,
Yeah,
and,
that takes time. Yeah.
and so I was watching an 100-year-old Fleischer cartoon called Invisible Ink, and the drawing of Coco looked so realistic. It almost looked like a human, like just like a human almost.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those for Flesher, they were actually tracing footage of humans. They actually developed rotoscoping. Yeah, yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
Scott.
rotoscope. Yeah, it's
Rotoscoping.
like
Yeah.
without them, you know, really, you know, creating that, it's like there wouldn't have been like cartoons like You Ought to Be in the Pictures, which actually has Leon Schlesinger in it,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is really cool because it's like practically like one of the first rotoscoping, like it's the first like iconic piece of rotoscope.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that rotoscoping was around a lot before that one.
Yeah.
Fleischer was doing that. If you see like old like Betty Boop cartoons, sometimes they'll even have
Yeah.
the model.
Yeah, the real
or
model.
the cartoon. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff is awesome. I love when they do that.
Yeah.
It's like they were really like going for it. Which
Have
makes
you guys seen any of the Fleischer Superman cartoons?
I have, and like they're supposed to be like really top notch and stuff. It's like
They're beautiful. Yeah.
my brother watches them all the time, but my favorite Fleischer stuff is probably sort of like the I love the Popeye, but my personal favorite is like when they do the Coco the Clown and Bimbo cartoons. Like
Mhm.
one of my favorite appearances of Coco the Clown is in Snow White. It's like and where it's like they do the musical number, and it's just such an amazing like um dance sequence, even though it's like it doesn't look like it's sort of like, you know, it's like it kind of looks like cheap a little. It's amazing. And it's one of the greatest cartoons ranked by the IMDb.
I like the ones where they had Cab Calloway.
Yeah, that's one of
Because
them.
I really like Cab
Snow
Calloway.
White.
Yeah. Yeah. He did like 3 or I think 3 with them.
Yeah. I like all the ones he's in. One of my favorite it's like the Old Man of the Mountain's a really good
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that one. They use a line for that one in Nightmare Before Christmas. Have you guys seen Nightmare Before Christmas?
I forgot. I think it's
There's
like,
a part where Santa just got kidnapped by Oogie
Long
Boogie.
White
So during the
Beard
Oogie Boogie
and the
song,
Crooked Stare.
he goes, "What are you gonna do now?" And then the response line from Boogie is, "I'm gonna do the best I can." That's from that cartoon. Yeah.
Cartoon. Yeah. But the Long White Beard and Crooked Stare line would have also gone really good with it. Like if the boogeyman was going to insult Santa Claus. Or just like, you know, or any other character. and it's like there's a lot of little Easter eggs in Cuphead. It's like one of my personal favorites is the train number on the Phantom Express, which is actually the exact same number to a Lego train set. It's like, you know how they have those numbers like on the front of the set, and it's like set number so and so, and then like you can look it up for the pieces on bricks and minifigs. It's like, yeah, it's the one of the old train sets has the exact same number as the Phantom Express does.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's really interesting.
Yeah, I remember that one. The A113 Easter egg, I think most people know about.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's probably the most common Easter egg in like Pixar films.
Right.
But
The only time I noticed an A113 in theaters was actually for Mission Impossible, the one that Brad Bird directed. It was on some guy's ring. They did like a close up. And I'm like, oh, A113, like in the theater. And it was like, no one's gonna care about this except for me. For those of you don't know, we're talking about A113.
it was the college room that
Yeah, it was a classroom that
John
Brad
Lasseter
Bird and a bunch of other Disney directors had classes in.
and Brad Bird directed the Incredibles.
Yeah, he directed Incredibles and Iron Giant, and Mission Impossible. So it's kind of like an Easter egg that they hide in every one of those
Like, all
movies
their
somewhere.
films. I'm doing a colored Bosco. He never appeared colored, but later it's like I watched a recolored version of Porky and Wacky Land, and I was totally fooled. I thought it was just colored straight up. I never knew it was black and white.
Oh, they like colored it after.
Yeah, they would do that in the 70s. Like,
yeah, it's like Porky and Wacky Land was a black and white one.
Yeah, it's a really funny one. I just hate that bird. He's so annoying.
Yeah.
And,
how
like,
are you doing on time, Scott? I don't have a quick time.
It is 3:05.
Okay, cool. We got
It's like,
plenty of time.
If you think Foghorn Leghorn's annoying or Marvin the Martian, look at this guy. He's just so like annoying.
Yeah, he's supposed to be annoying though. is the thing.
Yeah, but they did a really good job making him annoying.
Yeah, they did a good job making him annoying.
Like, if he was my roommate, it's like I'd probably, my hair would be white already. Because like when you're really stressed out, like your hair will grow like lighter sort of when you get stressed out.
Yeah.
And also I think Bosco was like the first like character that ever talked in like full sentences for like cartoons, like by a voice like actor, because they'd usually cartoon characters would only make noises. Really?
Yeah, it developed in like stages. So does anybody know the first synchronized like sound cartoon? That one's a famous one. First one where they were able to do sound.
I think it was like maybe a Fleischer, because
Wasn't a Fleischer. They actually put this character on the map. This is why, and it's still really famous.
Is it Gertie? Gertie the dinosaur?
Gertie did not have sound. Gertie was actually like a presentation thing. So Winsor McKay, the guy who animated Gertie, he would like play it on a projector, and he would stand in front of Gertie and talk to Gertie. So he'd be like, "Oh, Gertie, how are you doing?" And Gertie would like shake her head, and he would like say like, "Oh, what's that?" And she'd look like, I don't remember what all the whole thing is, but Gertie did not have actual sound in it. The first cartoon with sound was actually Steamboat Willie, where they could synchronize the sound, and that's what ended up making Mickey super popular, was that he could whistle, and the animation would whistle along with the noise.
Well, yeah, but didn't Oswald the Lucky Rabbit also have sound?
I think that was after, because then
No,
it's like
Oswald
once
had,
one person does it, then everyone has to kind of like rush and figure it out.
No, 1927. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Trolley Troubles.
No, it did not have sound. There was only music and nothing else. There was no sound.
Well, yeah, but that still sort of counts as sound, I guess.
Well, the specific with the sound is that the sound is synchronized with the animation. So before that, when they had like silent movies, they would have somebody playing sound, like actually in the theater, you know, so they'd be on the organ going da 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 da, like this is a really intense part and stuff like that. And so there would be like sound with the movie, but it wouldn't be synchronized the way we think of sound today. So a lot of our cartoons, like, and if you get them on DVD and stuff like that, they will add sound just because like that's what we're used to. But in the 20s, because I forget what year Steamboat Willie was, it was like 20, it was probably around 27 or 28, I think. That was the first time where it was like just built into the cartoon that this Mickey would move along with the sound. And then after that, everyone was like, oh, we got to figure out how to to make these things sound synchronized. And that's where you get things like, oh, I haven't got a hat, you know, Porky singing I haven't got a hat.
The reason Mel Blanc actually became Porky's voice was because so the original guy who voiced Porky was he really stuttered, and so it would take hours for the thing to for the recordings. So even I have a little bit of a like sometimes I can't find the words for things, and so like that's why they hired Mel Blanc to do the voice of Porky Pig, and he actually did not voice Elmer Fudd. This other guy did.
Yeah, he was not a regular for voicing Elmer.
I
think he did in like a random cartoon, but he usually did not voice Elmer.
Yeah, Arthur Q. Bryan, I believe,
Yeah.
was the regular.
Yeah, I have a fun fact. So Mel Blanc, he actually went on to voice Heathcliff, which was actually a character that created Garfield. So Heathcliff, he came before Garfield. Garfield came after, and there was no similarities when like Garfield came out because he didn't even have like stripes because Heathcliff, he already had stripes. And I think that when the creator of Garfield was creating him, he added stripes because he thought stripes would work for the character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fun fact, Mel Blanc actually, I think he voiced Toucan Sam once.
Oh, I didn't know that. He voiced Toucan Sam?
And
The Fruit Loops.
And guess what? Carl Stalling actually voiced Mickey Mouse in 1929 once.
Yeah. Yeah, Mickey has had quite a few voice actors.
Yeah. Like first it was Walt Disney,
but
I don't really think he was cut for it.
Yeah, and I think the person who sings "You're Mean One, Mr. Grinch" in the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas actually went on to voice Tony the Tiger, which is why it sounds
they sound a lot alike.
Yeah.
If you've been to on the Haunted Mansion, he's also the ghost host in Haunted Mansion.
Oh, and I finished the Bosco.
Oh, nice.
I did a colored Bosco.
Was that the colors in the colorized version?
No, that's just what I
that your own colors
would look like. Okay. That's just how I estimate he would. It's like, and it's like I know he doesn't speak a lot in Sinking in the Bathtub, but listen to how much he speaks in the Talking Kid. It's like he talks so much. I was kind of uncomfortable with.
Yeah, they're showing off. Yeah,
He can talk.
they're showing off the fact that he can talk.
Yeah, but also it's like when he does the singing thing, it just hurts my ears. And it's like
A little shrill.
but it's really funny, like when it's like he does the piano thing, because it's like, and he's sort of just messing around a lot, like when his head comes off of like a Jack in the Box and then starts just bobbing around. It's like that's just really ridiculous, but it was like a huge like riff off of the Out of the Inkwell series.
Mm-hmm.
People notice in a lot of Disney films that the characters in their positions, they were actually traced a lot. So if you watched another film and you'd see this other Disney film, you'd see how similar the...
Oh, are you talking about the recycled animation? Yeah.
They recycled a lot of it. Like Snow White, they recycled the animation for Robin Hood.
Yeah. So Disney Studios was in a kind of strapped for cash in the 60s and 70s. Like
also in the 40s, they were in debt in the 40s, like debt.
Yeah, it's happened to them a couple of times where they're really strapped for cash and they had to do so. In the 60s, they would trace over animation from previous movies. So it'd be different characters, but they'd move the exactly the same ways. Like there's a dance in Snow White that they reused for Robin Hood and a bunch of other things just to save money because they didn't have a lot of money at the time.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like
in the 40s they couldn't make anything because of they'd switched to doing World War II cartoons, so they weren't really making any movies. They do the like package film era thing. So they would kind of do different shorts and then stick them together until they made a...
Yeah, the World War II ones. I remember that some of the Warner Brothers animators, they actually made a cartoon called Private Snafu.
Yeah,
they made a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I was it's like, as you can see, like as it's like as Looney Tunes sort of went into the 70s along with like the Bugs Bunny show, it's like it's sort of like the animation like was losing its its touch, because just a lot of it was like, you know, Daffy Duck and Speedy Gonzales. So it's like, and I feel like Speedy Gonzales was like one of the one of the last theatrical cartoon characters for Looney Tunes. So he wasn't as much as a hit, and also his first cartoon is banned. So like,
yeah, I don't think it's banned anymore. I think they do show them now. I'm not quite sure because they banned a few, but
yeah, they still do. But they still show Speedy Gonzales, which I do not want to see anytime, because so I was on HBO Max the other day, and I came up, and I wanted to watch Chuck Jones, and I really regret stumbling upon Super Rabbit.
Super Rabbit?
Yeah. I really
are you talking about the short or are you talking about something else?
the short.
The short?
Yeah. It's like, I was originally gonna watch the Daffy Duck one, but then I was like, oh, that's Robert Timpson. And I was looking for specifically a Chuck Jones one, because I specifically wanted to watch one of those because those are my personal favorites.
Hmm.
But it's like, so I think I think even the Looney Tunes show, which was like a 2010 thing, it's like they even recreated the cartoon, to make it a little better.
Oh yeah, yeah. They did an episode where it was like a whole DC parody thing.
Show where it felt like Seinfeld.
Yeah, the Looney Tunes show felt like Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's like I prefer the theatrical stuff, but any Wile E. Coyote cartoon will do, really, unless it's a Frisch feeling, because he directed some of them with the guy who produced the Pink Panther, and it's like you don't do that behind the back of Chuck Jones, because he was at Metro Goldwyn Mayer at the time, with and all the other Looney Tunes animators were working for Tom and Jerry for in the 60s. And I think is really cool because Mel Blanc was voicing Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
And I feel like it brought the gags a little more to life, and you don't really feel as bad for Tom. Because it's like when you watch the Hanna-Barbera ones, even though those ones are amazing, it's like I more prefer their Droopies because and that's specifically from Tex Avery. It's like, and he was really good at the Looney Tunes stuff. So I think he knew what he was doing with the Droopy, but it's like I kind of felt really bad for Tom watching the Hanna-Barberas because it's like one time they threw him in the washing machine.
Scott, how are we doing on time?
It is almost
it's been a while.
3:20.
3:20. Okay. Does anybody have any other share?
Oh, well, I had something.
I'm doing a boring, I'm just filling in black sections. So if we have anybody wants to share their work.
Well, I also drew the skeleton today.
Oh, fun! I love skeletons.
It's I've actually been doing drawings from this book.
You've been doing drawings from a book?
Yeah. It's the Looney Tunes Ultimate Visual Guide by Gertie.
Oh, okay.
Chuck actually animated some scenes for Mrs. Doubtfire. It was an animated section that was basically like Sylvester and Tweety.
Yeah, that Robin Williams is doing the voice. That scene is it's misleading because they're showing the cartoon and then Robin Williams is doing a voice along with the cartoon playing, and that's actually the reverse of how cartoons are made. Usually they'll do the voice actor first and then animate to what the voice actor's doing.
Yeah, that's usually what they do, so they can get the timing right, so they don't have to do the takes again and again.
It's a lot faster to record a voice than it is to start animating. So
Liliana and Heather Rose would like to share.
Excellent. Hello, Liliana. Hello, Heather.
I've just been doing character sketches things.
Oh, cool. I like the hair. That's awesome. Let's see with the computer. Ooh, cool. So you have an archer? Is that your own character?
No.
For both of you? Okay. What is the character from? Let's see.
It said
Ace Attorney. Okay. I know of Ace Attorney. I haven't played Ace Attorney, but That's cool. Does anybody else have any drawings they want to share?
Here's Tater.
Hello, sorry it's dark. I'm another digital piece. This one's a work in progress. I'm working on lining right now, but this little rat that I'm working on.
Oh, nice. It looks like an anteater type creature. Something
Yeah,
like
I was
that.
trying to get it to be closer to a rat, so it'll probably go.
The rat-
over
okay.
eyes, but yeah.
It's probably the nose to ear ratios that makes it look like a anteater type animal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got though. Thank you.
Cool. No, that's awesome.
Share something.
It does. It reminds me of mouse. Yeah, me too. It's a little bit like that style.
I drew some cats as like a cat study thing.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how it will show.
Let me see. And is this watercolor?
Yeah, it's just pen and watercolor.
Pen and watercolor? Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, I like seeing that color in the sketchbook there. That's beautiful. Oh.
And then I
love
also
cats.
have like a bigger portrait thing. 1 second, sorry. I have a lot of these, but I was just like finessing some of them. I'll show you like another like one that I did, like this one.
Nice. Do you have any cats at home? Or
Yeah, I have a cat. I have no idea where she is right now, but yeah, I do.
okay,
She was
these
my-
based off of your cats?
Yeah, she's my model. And then I have this one.
Yeah. It's really hard to draw. Cats will stay in the same place sometimes, but it can be really hard to draw animals that you're looking at. That's really cool. Yeah, I like the color with the line art on top. Just one shape.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any work they would like to share?
Well, speaking of cats, where's my portfolio? I have this drawing of Sylvester that I did. Just 1 second, let me go find it. Okay, I found it. Found my portfolio. And oh, other way. Hold on. First I want to show the full body Wile E. Coyote
Ah, nice. It's a little shiny. Pull back. There we go.
for the Space Jam: A New Legacy. And then this is my Sylvester.
Oh, for Space Jam?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a personal favorite drawing in here. Well, I want to show you my sister's personal favorite. For my new drawings, it's this gentleman baby sea otter.
Oh, that's so cute. Does he have a monocle?
Yes, it does. It has
Very, very dapper. Yeah.
And I've been recently drawing paired drawings, so it kind of looks like they're looking at each other, or like they're sort of interacting on separate sheets of paper. Because you might draw one successful character and then the other one might be a failure, so that's why I do it on 2 sheets. Especially like if you're trying to animate 2 people, I would probably just do like them on separate sheets, because
Oh, yeah, if you're
it'll be
animating.
a lot easier to make
Yeah, for sure.
a successful one. It'll be like easier to make a successful like sequence, because it won't like be such a pain. Or it's like if it's like you're drawing like several one of the several of the same thing, you could just duplicate it or something.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful to animate in layers. So if you have different elements, even they're interacting, to have them on different layers. So if you have a problem with one thing, you can edit that.
But also, it looks a little
Easier.
more three-dimensional when you have it on separate layers, because it looks because it kind of looks like one's under another, not like literally under another, like their feet are on one's head, like not exactly like that, but like I think
Yeah, when you have things interacting, like especially when you do your gesture sketches and stuff like that, you want to draw them together. But if you're animating, sometimes it's helpful to draw things, separately on separate layers. Sometimes people even do like body parts that way. So they'll do like the body or the legs on one layer and then like the head on another layer. So you don't want to do that too much, because then you can run into a problem where things get disjointed, like they feel separate. But sometimes it's really helpful just to get your head around what's going on if you do them on separate layers.
yeah, it'd be weird if they're sort of like apart, like one. It's like it doesn't look like it looks like the head might be like off, really, like on like the other side of the room.
Yeah, you want to make sure everything connects.
It's like when I am animating, I try to do my best, like to not mess it up. But it's hard to not mess up when you're drawing two people on the same page.
Oh, for sure.
Naylene, I just wanted to give you the time. It's 3:29.
Okay, cool. Any other people who want to share the work they've done?
Well, I'm doing another Sylvester
Spider-Man's
sketch, but this time without the Toon Squad outfit.
So just like a normal black and white, normal colored Sylvester. I at least got the head of this guy done. All right, cool. Well, if there are no more shares, then we will pick it up again next week and draw something else. I'm almost done with the sketchbook. So we will see what happens in the next 2 weeks. Let me just flip this back over. All right. So thank you everybody for coming to draw with me for Sketchbook Summer. And then I will see you all next week. Thank you, Scott, for being my eyes for this time around when I couldn't see the screen. All right.
No problem. Thanks, Naylene.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.